The euro is losing ground, while the yuan climbs swiftly in the global financial arena. Are we witnessing a major shift in the balance of economic power? Stick around as we delve into the reasons behind the yuan's rise and the euro's challenges. As of April 2024, the Chinese yuan maintains its position as the second most utilized currency in SWIFT trade settlements worldwide, surpassing the euro, with a consistent share of 5.8% of international payments since September 2023. This status highlights China's expanding economic influence and its deliberate efforts to globalize its currency, in line with broader geopolitical and economic objectives, including collaborations within the BRICS bloc. The increasing utilization of the yuan in global finance is attributed to several factors, notably China's extensive trade networks and the growing acceptance of the yuan in trade finance, especially in regions facing economic volatility. Strategically, the yuan's role as both a trade and reserve currency has been reinforced through bilateral agreements and the establishment of currency swap lines with numerous central banks worldwide. The rise of the yuan in the global currency rankings mirrors China's advancing economic power and the growing confidence of the international community in using its currency for global trade and finance. In our video, we'll delve into the current dynamics of two major currencies, the Chinese yuan and the euro, exploring the strategic initiatives undertaken by China and the European Union to shape the future of their currencies. Additionally, we'll examine how China's participation in the BRICS alliance has strengthened its position in the global trade landscape. Furthermore, we'll compare the progress of digital currency developments in China with those in the European Union, analyzing their respective advancements in digital currency initiatives. The growth of the yuan in comparison to the euro is driven by several factors that enhance its attractiveness in the global financial market. Notably, the issuance of panda and dim sum bonds, driven by China's lower interest rates, has reached unprecedented levels in 2023. Panda bond issuances soared to an impressive 150 billion RMB, marking the highest level since their inception, indicating significant international interest due to favorable borrowing conditions. Moreover, yuan-denominated loans now constitute a substantial 5.8% of global trade finance, supported by competitive interest rates compared to those in Western economies. The bond markets for both panda and dim sum bonds are expanding, with dim sum bond issuances in Hong Kong experiencing a 65% surge in 2023, reaching a total of 550 billion yuan. This expansion reflects a broader trend of growing reliance on yuan financing, particularly evident in Hong Kong, which serves as a premier offshore yuan hub. Despite these advancements, the journey towards the yuan becoming a global reserve currency encounters several hurdles and necessitates strategic interventions. The panda bond market, while expanding, grapples with limited liquidity and a narrower investor base compared to the more established dim sum bonds. Additionally, China's endeavors to facilitate cross-border fund transfers for panda bond issuers and broaden eligibility for yuan liquidity facilities represent proactive measures towards deeper integration into global financial systems. The involvement of BRICS nations, particularly through mechanisms like the New Development Bank, underscores the emphasis on de-dollarization by advocating for local currencies in transactions and loans, thus enhancing the yuan's international standing. Efforts to boost the use of the yuan within BRICS countries for trade and energy transactions align with the strategy to decrease reliance on the US dollar. The introduction of yuan oil futures constitutes a significant stride towards augmenting the yuan's utilization in global energy markets, reflecting broader initiatives aimed at bolstering its global prominence. Assessing the future trajectories of the yuan and the euro demands a nuanced comprehension of the geopolitical and economic factors influenced by elections in Europe and the US. For the yuan, its path is intricately linked to the dynamics of US-China relations. Changes in US administrations can precipitate shifts in trade policies and overall sentiment towards Chinese investments, profoundly impacting the yuan's stability and international stature. A more stringent stance on China could escalate trade tensions, thereby introducing greater volatility into the yuan's valuation. Concurrently, China's persistent efforts to internationalize the yuan by advocating for its integration into global financial systems and expanding its usage in international transactions play a pivotal role in shaping its future. Conversely, the euro's outlook is heavily shaped by the political landscape within the European Union. Elections that strengthen populist or Eurosceptic parties have the potential to challenge EU cohesion, affecting fiscal policies and potentially destabilizing the euro. Conversely, electoral outcomes favoring fiscally conservative policies could foster economic stability within the bloc, thereby strengthening the euro. The economic strategies adopted by newly elected governments across Europe will either bolster or undermine the currency based on their approaches to fostering economic growth and stability. Additionally, the euro is sensitive to the stances of EU member states on significant issues, such as Brexit. Past negotiations have demonstrated how political events can trigger fluctuations in the euro's value, and similar volatility could arise if future elections bring governments with strong opinions on EU policies to power. Moreover, the relationship between the US and the EU concerning trade sanctions and regulatory cooperation can impact the euro. A US administration prioritizing multilateralism and reinforcing ties with European allies could improve the euro's prospects by stimulating more robust trade and investment flows between the regions. In summary, the internationalization efforts of the yuan are influenced by both global and domestic policies, while the stability of the euro depends largely on political unity within Europe and its external relations, particularly with the US. Both currencies face potential challenges and opportunities that are closely tied to internal strategies and the broader international political landscape. Digital transactions are reshaping the financial landscape through the emergence of central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, which have significant implications for both the yuan and the euro. In China, the rapid growth of the digital yuan, or ECNY, with transaction volumes reaching 1.8 trillion yuan to 49.33 billion by mid-year from over 100 billion yuan previously, underscores China's leadership in CBDC development. Despite representing a small fraction of China's total money supply, the high transaction volume of the ECNY demonstrates remarkable efficiency and velocity, with state-owned banks and trials facilitating cross-border transactions, highlighting its potential for international use. In contrast, Europe is making steady progress with its digital currency initiatives. The European Central Bank, ECB, has initiated a preparation phase for the digital euro, aiming to create a digital equivalent of cash that ensures privacy, enables offline transactions, and offers instant settlements. This phase, expected to last at least 2 years, involves establishing regulations, selecting technology providers, and conducting extensive testing. This effort reflects the Eurozone's commitment to embracing digital advancements and potentially revolutionizing its financial system. The ongoing evolution of digital currencies holds the potential to significantly impact the global standing of both the yuan and the euro. In China, the development of the digital yuan aligns with broader objectives to enhance its economic influence and decrease reliance on the US dollar. This initiative aims to streamline cross-border trade and financial transactions, posing a potential challenge to the euro's position in international markets. Meanwhile, the Eurozone's efforts to create a digital euro, reflecting European principles, seek to ensure the currency's continued relevance in an increasingly digital global economy. Overall, the emergence of central bank digital currencies signifies a crucial shift towards more contemporary, efficient, and potentially cost-effective financial systems. These digital currencies have the potential to open up new avenues for global trade and investment, ultimately reshaping the landscape of international financial transactions. How do you believe the development of digital currencies like the digital yuan and digital euro will influence international economic dynamics in the coming years? Feel free to share your thoughts and perspectives in the comments section below. Don't forget to join the Revel Discovery community by hitting that subscribe button to stay updated on the latest developments in global trade and economic strategies. Stay connected and informed with us for more insights into the world of international economics.